Okay. Hello, and welcome. I am your host, Honey Jai, and on tonight's topic, we are speaking on when life deals you lemons. And they say turn it into lemonade. But what if it hurts too much to do so? I'm going to let each guest go ahead and introduce themselves. All the hosts and our co-host and our guests all will be introducing themselves, and then we'll go straight into a topic. And let's do this, ladies. The first person I see on the screen is Crystal. So, hey.
Hey, y'all. This is Crystal, Screen 9360. That's it. And we're doing formal introductions or
No, ma'am. Just
okay.
quick. Next.
Of course, this is Nicole.
Hey, Miss Chrissy girl.
Hey, Miss Chrissy. And of course, this is Nicole. Hey.
Hey, Nicole.
Hey to the
This is Fancy Red.
Hey,
Hey,
Fancy.
Fancy Red.
Hey.
And I'm Denise.
And
Hi,
Denise.
Denise.
Hi.
We have one more. Where you at, young Miss?
I'm Minerva. I'm Minerva.
Hey. And
Hey, sorry
hello.
about Hello.
So I won't go into how today's topic started, but we always hear how life will give you something negative, and we have to figure out how to make it positive. And sometimes positivity, if we can't figure out how to get there, is a long travel to getting there. So that's the topic is chosen because, let's say, we have everything going on that can possibly be going on. We have what is the pandemic, and then we have, anyone in Texas, we're almost on the sick and shut-in list because it is going to be a real live storm here, which is beautiful, which prevents each and every one of us from being in one location. But it's okay. It's okay because everybody's still gonna get the same thing that we are trying to get out. I love always starting with our guests. So what I am going to do is I'm going to start with Denise because I know she's moving around and she's going to probably put us on mute for a little while. So I'll start with Denise. What do you think about when we talk about this topic?
Bring me more back into the topic so I can kind of think a little bit. Because she told me it's a really impromptu, so I got to get ready.
Very much so. When life gives you lemons, they say make lemonade. But what if you can't because it hurts too much?
Well, I know that you guys don't know me, but I'm gonna make it very fast and very quick. Back when I was I'm 46 now, but maybe around 21, my daughter was about 6 months old, and I went through violence from my own brother. And when you're looking at how life gives you lemons, what are you supposed to do with it if it hurts? Well, I had to ask God, how do I get into heaven if I got hate in my heart? Because at that point, I started feeling less than a woman. I started feeling like, why did my brother take me through all of this moment? So it kind of took me through a whole episode of, can I trust men? Can I, everything else that came with it. So I'm trying to make it very conducive. However, when you're looking at a lemon like that, you're trying to figure out, how do I go on with my life? Because you're still trying to figure out, how do I love a brother that's my actual blood brother? This ain't like some boyfriend that beat me up and you can pretty much jump to a next boyfriend and feel safe. You're dealing with a family member. So for me, I'm kind of probably jumping in real strong with this.
You are.
Yeah, that's what I said. I'm just one of them real people. I'm not, I think God has given me that ability to be able to just really be transparent, because a lot of times people be like, how do I get over it? How do I make it to the next phase of my life without me becoming a better person? I had to ask God to teach me how to forgive so I can live. But at the same time, even in your forgiveness, that don't mean you have to be around that person. And even though that's my blood brother, I say, God, I'm trying to make it to heaven. Heaven is my goal. But some days I might want to choke him out. I'm just being honest. I'm real about it. However, and I think that's why she got me on, because I'm a no nonsense. My kids call me a Christian thug. So to God be the glory.
There you go.
Hey, ain't no wrong with that.
But I think with that, with the lemons that been given, when I prayed and I was saying, Lord, squeeze the bitter out of me that I become better. Because a lot of times we don't do self-inventory too much. We start looking at what everybody else has done and we forget to look at us. And at the time I was helping him. He had just got paroled from prison, but he started getting out there and drugs got a hold to him. And it took my 5-year-old son at the time to say, Uncle John, why are you hitting on my mama like that? And my brother snapped too. However, because I couldn't sleep at night, I had to go ahead and send the police on him and send him back to prison. With that whole cycle, my family was mad at me because he had just got out. But I was like, y'all forgot to protect the Black woman. Even though he did that, they forgot about protecting the person that really went through the whole physicality. So when you're looking at lemons, you're looking at, okay, on the outside, it look all nice, it's fresh, but when you squeeze it, you try to see if it's firm. But by the time you cut into it, it might squirt. You know how the juice that squirt everywhere.
Right.
This how life is. It's like you step into life. Once you get cut, you don't know if you're gonna be a person that's gonna be like, "What you say?" And that causes you to squirt on people because your whole attitude is all over the place. You get me? But when you add a little bit of Jesus on top, when you add a little bit more Jesus, when you add a little bit more niceness to it, when you stop looking at what the situation is and how your mind gonna stay there, you gonna let that thing conquer you or you gonna conquer it. So for me, that was my life in a nutshell and still living it through because every day, if somebody bring up my brother, some days I'm like, I don't even want to hear his name. However, God was like, you still have not totally forgiven. So I need to teach you how. So I'm still in teaching mode of learning, but I've become better because at one point I couldn't even just be around. So that's my lemon to life episode that really came on real. But I'm just hoping that the women that are listening, that whatever you have ever gone through in life, don't stay there. Learn how to ask God to show you how to free yourself in him, because in him we live, we move, and we have our being. But if we forget that, and if we forget that we're beautifully and wonderfully made, if we forget that we're the light that sit up on the hill that can't be hid, if we forget those things, we start looking at what the world take us as. And so God has just really stripped me. I think for me, before I get off, I would say God took me back to Genesis. I said, God, before the hurt happened, before people ridiculed me, before judgment came upon my life, before all this stuff happened, who was Denise? And I literally took a pen and a piece of paper and I asked God, show me who Denise is, because I need to get back to that soft girl. I need to get back to that one that's trusting. I want to get back to that one that's loving. These are all the things that God say, but who am I in you? And I had to identify, do I look like Jesus or am I looking like Denise? Am I still looking like the streets that I want to fight if somebody came to me wrong? What am I looking like? You get what I'm saying? So it's a self-check. It's every day we step in the mirror. It's us being able to see, am I looking like lemon today or am I looking like lemonade? The choice is yours.
Oh,
I like drinking lemonade.
You like drinking? I do too.
Oh, baby.
I drink it all up. I ain't got time. I'm gonna squeeze the lemonade and I'm gonna drink you. I ain't got time to play with you.
Yes.
Add a little water and a little sugar. And depending on your sugar taste, hey, it may just be what it needs to be.
Yes,
I just see that DeMarco just got on. Hey,
that was a very powerful statement that you did make. You know, a lot of us don't do a self-check, you know, and I appreciate that statement because we don't do that. We want to blame others on a lot of things, and we need to reflect and self-check ourselves as well too. So I like that.
Thank you.
And some of us self-check a little bit too much, but
some people overanalyze the self-check. We're like,
it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
No, we have
hey, Crystal, let me hear from you. I love listening. I love it. Thank you, Denise. I love you for that. Thank you for being so transparent.
You know, sometimes I think that when you go through something, especially, I had to accept that pain is a part of life. And I can't resolve or improve or make better of everything. So sometimes you cannot make lemonade. So sometimes that's not an option. The second thing is, you know, sometimes you got to sit with your pain. Sometimes you just got to roll with it and you got to hurt. There's not a, hey, make this better. You know, some stuff has to just simply happen. One of the most painful things in my life was losing my mother. And even though I saw it coming, you know, it still hurt. Wasn't nothing I could do about death. You know, it's like, hey, we all gonna make it there at some point. But sometimes you have to sit with it, you know, and you know, you're not alone with it. That's the reaching for God, and you know, you're not alone with it, and you have to sit with it, and you have to say, how can I make this better? And I think that's maybe the analogy with turning lemons into lemonade. But I think sometimes when we think about that, we assume that it's just gonna be better, and sometimes it isn't better. It's just different. You move on. It's not a better, you know. My life hasn't been better because I lost my mother. It's different, and I lost my mother, you know. So sometimes you got to sit with your pain. You got to take responsibility for whatever it is that you can control, and you know, and realize, hey, I'm not alone. Even if I don't have anybody to call on the phone, even if I don't have anybody to talk to, I know that God is with me and I'm not alone. And I have to sit with this. You know, this isn't something I can put a band-aid on. This ain't something that I could, you know, write down and you know, meditate away. I gotta roll with it, you know. I mean, and it's not just about grief. Sometimes it's about, you know, people intentionally hurting you. Somebody has wronged you, and you like, you know, I mean, I've been nice to you, you know, and sometimes it's not about being nice. And that's the thing of having to realize for me, is that no matter how nice you can be to somebody, no matter how fair you can be to other people in life, bad things happen. Pain is going to come to you, and sometimes you got to sit with it. You got to take responsibility for it, and you got to get next to God and be like, hey, just get me through. Just get me through.
Whew. Y'all taking me to them tear jerking, brother. Y'all know I'm the sensitive one. I am so the sensitive one. Hello again, Marco. Thank you for being transparent, Crystal. You know, you're always transparent. I love you. I love you. Fancy Red, you know, you always be the last one to talk, but I'm pulling you up.
You pulling me up?
I'm pulling you up.
Well, I mean, I have been through similar hurt as Crystal, because I lost my father at an early age as a teenager. And I agree with her. That one doesn't get any better. It just, you deal with it. You learn to deal with it. But I've also been hurt as an adult. And that's where the wronged part of this comes in. I had to learn to forgive that person, because this was somebody I was married to that I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with. That kind of hurt. Basically, what the hurt is not only did you have one kid, but you ended up with two. So that was a whole different hurt. And I had to learn. Now, I'm going to have to turn this analogy just a tiny bit. I had to learn, number one, I had turned that into some pink lemonade, but I had to add a little alcohol to mine. But that's how I had to get through it.
Right.
And in the process, we figured out that we probably shouldn't have never been married. We should have remained friends. Because as a friend, he's a good friend. As a husband or anything with any type of emotion tied to it, for he and I, is horrible. I'm not the one for him. He ain't the one for me. Because at some point, we even brought the worst out in each other.
Wow.
So I just had to learn to forgive and get past it. I'm good. We can talk. And it is what it is. Actually, I have kind of been, I guess, his confidant, because that same person that he cheated on me with, he ended up losing because she passed. So, you know, we talk about stuff. We talk about her and talk about the death and all of that. So, you know, I'm kind of, I guess, helping him turn his turn his lemons into lemonade.
Right.
So, yeah.
Boy, that's some power going on here today. Woo.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. I'm taking a quick break. I'm so sorry. I'm gonna sprinkle the little male perspective in between. Hey, Zamarco, how are you? I know you're still on.
I'm sorry. I'm still here.
Hey, how are you? You know the topic, correct?
sprinkle lemonade, get some lemon and make lemonades out of
When life deals you lemon.
it. Yeah,
Right.
life deals you lemon.
Right.
Man, just hearing you ladies, man, it's crazy. But for me, I think one of the biggest things that happened to me in my life was a passing of my grandfather. Um, I mean, this is the man I looked at as daddy. Um, and I think about all the things that he wanted me to do and all the things that he tried to not tried, but he did instill in me. I think about this every day that I go to work. I remember him saying, "Hey, won't you be a teacher?" And I said, "Man, I don't want to be no teacher. Teachers don't make no money." But here I am 18 years later,
Teacher.
All right.
And I watched this man, even he was blind the majority of my life. But I watched this man still handle business. And to me, after his death, I didn't know what to do. As far as dealing with men, but even though I had my father, but my father wasn't that father figure that I needed. But watching my granddad before his illness, during his illness, I just remember him as a hardworking man. Regardless, him and my grandmother weren't together. They weren't together before I was. They started being married way before I was thought of. But I remember just how he took care of business at home, and took care of his wife. And so when I see men who don't really take care of business, I think about him, and I'm like, look, I can't be like the rest of these guys. I had a great role model. I'm not, even though my dad did what he do, and still do, I'm still not gonna be like my dad. I'll be like my granddad. So when he passed, that really hurt me, and it made me think about what I needed to do as a man. And like I said, he said be a teacher, and I did not want to be a teacher, but I'm doing it, and every day I do go to work. Every week I think about him, especially when I pull up to the school. I think about him all the time.
Perspectives. Thank you for sharing. Christy?
Hello.
Do we really have the gun in the bag? Okay.
Yeah,
If we can't make the lemonades, we gonna shoot it to something.
well, that's how I just eat the lemons. I've just learned to eat the lemons, and we just keep moving. We all have our little stories. I mean, that hit us all in our own way. So you just have to, like Crystal said, sometimes you sit in it, and I mean, the gun in the background is metaphorical at times for what you might think you need the strength in different ways, but you just sit in it and you eat the lemon. I like to eat the lemons. I have to keep moving.
You say you're not putting no sugar, no water, just
Yeah, you got to eat the lemon. Got to eat the lemon.
Sometimes you gotta roll with it.
Yeah, I mean,
roll with the punches to keep it moving sometimes.
Yeah, because we've had just a little incident not long ago that what you saw in the background, we thought we was gonna storm the Capitol to worship.
Right.
And so, I
Oh,
mean,
wow.
they
Okay.
was up there playing, and so I mean, you settle down, you think, you take your deep breaths, and that's what it's all about. And sometimes that means just getting quiet, and meditating on it or whatever you need to do. But yeah, so that's you can take that background however you need to take it, because I mean, there's time for all things.
Clack, click,
Yeah.
clack.
Yeah, there's time for all things. There's time for all things. That's all I'll say. All right.
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
Oh my
let's
goodness.
go to Minerva.
Hello. Um, I don't know where to begin. All the stories that I've heard have been very touching and very encouraging. Um, so I will share my story again. I had a meeting with the life group, and I mean, God has been so good to me in so many different ways and so many different directions in my life until I just don't know where to begin in thanking Him. Um, every story that I've heard, I've been through it. I was molested when I was 6 years old. I've been through the promiscuous state. Um, and it's different ways that I had to learn how to love myself. People will tell me all the time, you are a beautiful person, this, that, and the other. And I'd be like, no, I'm not, I'm ugly. I've been through those situations, whereas I thought that the only way a man would love me is I had to be sexual with them or anything like that. So it was I went through a period where I didn't love myself with very low self-esteem. I know, Shell. It probably looks like that. I don't have a low self-esteem, but I do have a very low self-esteem. So with that lemon, what I did for myself, I took what they call bourgeois pictures. And it really built up my confidence. It built up my looks. Matter of fact, that's what you see in my virtual background. Now, it brought out a side of me that I didn't know that I had. So to bring it up currently, just here recently, I got furloughed from my job. I moved here from Shreveport, Louisiana, back in 2013. My job, I was with a company for 25 years. They moved me here. I left that company and then joined another company, and a year later they furloughed me. With that being said, my life has never skipped a beat. I've never skipped a beat. I'm still paying, my bills still being paid, everything, but I just had to become it. It was an humbling. This is an humbling experience to me because God had to, when God get ready to move you to a different level, I'm learning that everybody's not meant to be, when you're in that valley, everybody's not meant to go to that mountaintop with you. So it'll be some people that'll be left in the valley. So with that being said, God is elevating me up to that mountaintop, and I've left several people down in the valley. Um, with that being said, I've been working since I was 16 years old. And the longest I've ever been off work, this is the longest I've ever been off work in my whole 49 years of life, is because the longest I've been out work is 6 weeks to have my kids or 8 weeks to have my surgery. That's it. So with this time, I've taken my lemons and I've made lemonade. I bless people in many ways that I didn't know I was able to bless people. I've encouraged people in ways that I didn't even know I had the courage to encourage people. Um, I've been taken out of my comfort zone. Matter of fact, just last night.
Yes.
Um, in being able to come forth and share my knowledge and share everything, because for so many years I've always been judged, or I always been ridiculed, or nothing I did was never good enough. So once with me taking that and making my life taking my lemons and making lemonade, I'm learning that, hey, I only have to please one man, and that's God up above. And with God, I can do all things because He's the one that strengthens me. So that's my story, and I'm still working on me.
Aren't we all? Like, really, aren't we all? Uh,
Can I say one more thing?
anything, yes.
Can I say one more thing? She said
You can say a lot of things, Marco.
that
Uh-oh.
I think your phone is going out.
can y'all hear me?
Now we can.
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
I can hear you. Can you hear us?
Uh-oh. Hello?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We can hear you.
She said something that stuck out to me that actually a lot of men are very embarrassed to say. When she said she was molested, that brought back a memory. And I wasn't fully molested, but I was violated by a guy that was staying with us with my mom, and I had to be somewhere between 4 and 5. I remember, I remember that I was downstairs. My mom had an apartment upstairs. I remember him telling me be quiet. Not that he put his Peter whacker in me, but he was fondling me. And the older I've gotten, I've never told a story. I never told a story to my kids because I'm very protective of how they see or feel about me. But I remember telling my ex that it happened to me because she told me it happened to her, but I never told my mom. To this day, I'm 42 years old. Never told my mom that the guy that stayed with us molested. And I see this guy every once in a while in the church setting. He's a musician, and and I remember showing my ex a picture, or he was in the video. He was in the video, and I remember showing her that's him. In 42 years, when this happened, I've never told my mom. But I overcame all. Like, sometimes it's in the back of my head, and I don't think about it. But anytime I hear a word, I think about it at times. And I thank God for even giving me strength, because when I see this man, I speak, but that speaking is really anger. It's really anger. And a lot of men won't, when I first seen Curtis Conway, he used to play professional ball for the Chicago Bears. And I remember he was on I believe Dateline, and he was telling his story about being molested. For a man, that for a grown man, that's hard to say. It's bad enough that it's hard for a teenager, but for a grown man, that's hard to say. But that just kind of triggered me a little bit.
It was hard for me to just really discuss it, but I didn't have a choice but to discuss it. And to this day, I haven't told my mom either because I didn't want to hurt her. But I had to discuss it because it was affecting me in many ways. It was affecting me in my relationships with guys. It was affecting me with relationships with people. I had trust issues where I didn't want to trust anybody because I was afraid that they was gonna, you know, do the same thing. And with kids, I mean, it still affects me, but I had no choice but to talk it out because yes, I've seen my attacker, and I've seen him in several ways because, mind you, this went on from when I was 6 years old all the way up until I was 16. So I mean, it really, because he took something away from me that I would never get back. That's my innocence. I would never get my innocence back. And so it still affects me in many ways. It still bothers me in many ways. But I just try to encourage, like I told the group of ladies I was talking to today, I didn't talk about it because I felt like people was gonna judge me, or they was going, oh, she just this and she just that and she just gonna do this and she just gonna do that. So that's why yesterday, with the group of ladies that I talked to last night, with the learning and everything, the teaching that they put me on the spot and recorded me on last night, it took me out of my comfort zone, because I mean, a lot of things have happened to me in my life, but I try to be the victor, and not let it determine, my final destination and where God has for me to go. So I commend you, DeMarco, for even being able to talk about it, because females, we as females, people expect, I don't want to use the word expect, but they kind of be more receptive when they hear it come from a female, because females can mostly bounce back from it. But when it comes from a male, I commend your courage. I commend you for even coming forth and talking about it, because that's a very hard thing, because I agree with you not telling your kids, because I haven't told my kids either, because of the fact of, you don't want your kids to look at you in a different light, because your kids usually look at you as the strong figure, as the one that, oh, if can't nobody else do it, my mom and daddy can do it. And when you tell them that somebody caught you at your most vulnerable point, or took something away from you that you can never get back, you tend to think that they're gonna look at you in a different way. So I just want to say, from a woman's perspective, I commend you. And then, to be able to just open up and freely talk about it, that speaks a lot of volume in my book.
It does.
Thank you.
I mean, for both of you guys to have the courage, sometimes you do have to say something, you know what I'm saying? That's a lot to hold in. So I want to first say thank you for sharing with us. I truly appreciate everything that you always bring to the table. But you also, I mean, right now, you just gave me a whole, but tonight may have been the night that you need to get something off of you. As the same thing with you, Minerva, just getting it off of you, just being able to freely get it off you. Because there's so many things that we all have that we have to get off of us, and we're just not realizing exactly how do you do it, or where do you need to do it, or something as small as getting it off of you is like sometimes a breath of fresh air, just like, you know what I'm saying? And some people may say like, okay, it's being, honey job being corny again. Yeah, I can be a lot corny. I sure can. And I'm very sentimental, and I'm very sensitive to a lot of people's feelings, even if they don't even deserve it. But right now, thank you for sharing, because, today, you don't even know, like today could be the day, that your season completely changed. Like that lemon, it turns itself sweet. You know what I'm saying? Not so bitter. And I know we all had a lemon. It's like, oh my God, this is really, really fresh. I can't remember what place it is has the best lemonade. It's just, I don't care. It don't have a lot of sugar. It's just good. And that could be what's going on right now, where you just need to be good. And being able to say that to me, that's a lot. So again, I commend you, and I commend my sister, who says that she has lacked their confidence, but baby, them pictures was banging. So I just want to let you know that you did you. And if that's what you had to do to make a purge, then again, I commend you, because each one of us have reasons or ways of purging. Some of us cry, some of us overwork, whatever it is, your way of purging, it is appreciated, and it is seen, and it is, God is, he's here. Right now, we're living in this weird time where the vulnerable is being attacked, and their vulnerability is allowing Satan to walk in doors that probably would have never been able to walk in a door prior. So yes, again, I truly, truly appreciate your transparency and showing that much love and faith in God, that you gave it to the world so that they can possibly heal themselves. Last and never but the least, oh, my co-host, Nicole. Comical,
well, like you said, I commend DeMarco and Minerva to, give that powerful, to reveal something intimate about themselves to us. But I feel like this will help someone else in the long run. It'll benefit for someone else that can talk about it. I understand not telling your kids, but sometimes, hey, you never know, your kids might go through the same, they might be facing some things, and you have to let them know, hey, this will happen. These are signs that's happening. So you kind of give them the signs of things that's, happening, you never know. I'm gonna flip the script a little bit, because, me and lemonades, like I said, I'm gonna drink the lemonade, I'm gonna squeeze it and everything, because I'm gonna squeeze it, make me some lemonade, keep going. Yeah, pain, we have to go through things. We talked about this prior, and when we look at it like as a season, I bring up these seasons. Your pain, sometimes pain don't last long, sometimes it's gonna last long, just depends on what type of pain you're inflicting, what you're getting. When you talk about it, discuss it like here, everybody has something to give, and everybody is, giving something out about themselves, and somebody can relate to what you're talking about. So now you can pair up and y'all can talk about it as a group. You can have your own little group session, like, oh, I did not know you went through this, so this person went through it. Let's get together, and now we can talk and confide in each other and heal, because now it's a healing process. We got to heal now, because if you don't heal and you take it to another, we're going to put it like a relationship. You get into another relationship, that relationship is not going to withhold anything, because you haven't healed from the past things. You got to try to heal something, and like, I really like what Denise said. She took it to God, but she looked at herself to heal. And like I said, you can forgive all day, but you're not going to forget, and that's just us. That's human nature. I'm going to forgive, but not going to forget. But I'm still going to have to let it go, because if I don't let some things go, I'm not going to prosper. I'm not going to move forward. I'm just going to be stagnant and stuck here. And I can't be stuck. I'm not a stuck person. And so that's why I'm going to drink that liquor. I can't, But I mean, I understand everybody, pain is different. Everybody can take certain things differently. I have a high tolerance for pain. Everybody level of pain is not going to be the same. We get that. I think with this particular call, it will help benefit people that are going through certain things, to try to help them deal and heal with whatever pain they have going forward. But me personally, I changed a lot, because I was that person that I didn't care about your feelings. Now you can't cry to me. Now that's one thing I don't do the crybaby stuff. You got to find that person that you can cry to. Now you just constantly crying, we're going to have a problem. Like, look, if you can change it, I have always been told this, if it's something that you can change it. If it's something that is out of your control, that's in God's hand, leave it alone. Quit trying to control everything and running everything. Just, that's just how I look at certain things. My pain might be, I don't know, what is my pain? Like, we got to think about my pain.
You mean?
I'm not mean.
You just look, like my words. You just a man with a lot of woe in it.
But I guess
Girl, she been my sister since I was 10. She mean.
I think the outlook for me, probably from my set and my upbringing, was different. And that could be reason why certain things, I'd be like, just roll off, be like, whatever. And we gonna keep it pushing, because if I can't change it, it's not what I'm worried about it for. That's just me. What you drinking?
She has a tough outer shell, but
A whole marshmallow inside.
we know your kid and your family is your part.
True.
Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, it's gonna go hard for my kid and family, boy.
If you have a fight, she'll show up.
And they don't even call me, I guess, because I have the gun in the background.
We don't call you unless we know we gotta have.
You got to be ready. You have to be
Yeah,
ready.
baby. You gotta be ready to stomp the yard when you call.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, cause y'all talk too much.
Yeah, you got to be ready. Like we gonna come with. But you know, like I said, I really like, you know, I'm gonna go back to these because this lemon, this lemonade.
It's an analogy, Duda.
No, I know. We already know the
Right.
analogy. But you know, I'm laughing about it because you know, we talked about that so many times and I'm cracking up because I mean, you know, we're gonna put it in the jar, we're gonna squeeze it and make it do what it do anyway. So I just don't you gonna put some
Well, I'm gonna say that sometimes when you're cutting it, you know how the analogy was when you cut it and squeeze. It squeezes you and you're like, you done. You know what I'm saying? You can't see that moment. So that's where I believe this hurt comes in. You know what I'm saying? Hurt is hurt. You can't fix it, you can't change it. But you can pray about it. You know,
you can laugh.
You know what? I'm gonna say it like this. I can say that in each person's boat I've hit, except for my god sister. You know, I haven't been molested, but I was challenged. I was challenged when I was in college, and I was green as I don't know what when I went to college. The only one on here that probably know that I was mean as I don't know what is my god sister. I was mean. You know, I've been through enough that softened my heart. I had people to pray for me because they just thought that I was just always going to be mean, that I was always going to be sarcastic and I didn't know how to find a piece of filter, or I just didn't fool with people. It's either you were here or you're nowhere. I come a long way. So when I say that my long way come from, it came from a lot of different types of hurt. Okay. You know, my granny is the love of my life. My granny was all I had to talk to. My granny was my best friend when I had some friends at school, but there was no confide into them. It was just my granny. You know, my granny was a Christian and allowed me to verbally be who I was, even if she would say, well, Cass, baby, I need you to sit down somewhere and think about what you just said. I used to say stuff like, maybe if I just cut their throat, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm serious. And I never forget it. Like, before, when she had failed and everything went downhill, that's when we found out everything that was wrong with her, because everything went downhill. She just talked to each and every one of, you know, her grandchildren that was sitting there. And what she said to me made me mad because to me, it sounded negative. It sounded negative, but she had to give me the truth that I wasn't ready for that truth. And when she gave me that truth, I kind of sat in it, marinated, I thought about it. And then somewhere in there, I didn't think I had the strength. What I will say is with growth comes everything. So when I learned to open up and when I learned to, when, you know, God gave me this sense of discernment. So there's certain people you're going to let in and there's certain people that just don't fit your spirit. And so I ran into a lot of people that don't fit my spirit. So it was just like, I barely have a friend in the world. And I used to always say that. Then I met a group of women. Okay. And I met these group of women, you know, just playing football, just, you know what I'm saying? And they taught me a lot of things, because if you look at me today and you looked at me in my past, you would not know that the centerpiece of me actually went through some mental things, you know, mental forms of mental abuse. And we talked about it earlier today and we all had to laugh about it. But Fancy Red, I talked to you earlier today, and when you made that comment, you know, you said, now this is your time to, you know, your season, or that, you know, this is what's going on. I had to get off and pray about it, because at this time it's my real life. You know how you have to peel of the onion? I am on the peel of my life. So when it comes to that lemon, changing it into lemonade, right now I'm just eating it. You know what I'm saying? Because I need some of that bitter and sweet, because I gotta wake up. You know, I gotta wake up, because sometimes
when you fall asleep, that lemonade. Drink it.
I'm not ready for the lemonade. I'm not ready to add sugar. I'm not ready to add water. Right now, I'm just ready. I just want to just taste and see. You know what I'm saying? That's where I am in my life.
That's what I mean about sometimes sitting with the situation and sitting with your pain, because I think sometimes when we rush to try to be like, okay, let me fix this, we miss the whole point. You know, because we trying to fix it, we trying to turn it into something better, and sometimes there is no better. There's just different. There's just the next step in life, and we just have to move on. But a lot of times you got to sit with that pain, because at the same time, even without just, you know, speaking to grief and death, sometimes we deserve what we get, and it took me a long time to realize that sometimes when I've hurt, I brought it on myself. Like, hey, you know what, you've been flying high, running the streets and breaking hearts, and well, it's your time, so you know you're gonna have to roll with it. I mean, God gonna be with you, but your heart is broken, you hurt, and you gotta roll with it. Sometimes you gotta sit with it. It ain't, you know, hey, let me make it better. So I get what you're saying, like, hey, there isn't necessarily a move to make. Is, you know what, this is what it is. Let me reflect on this. Let me find, you know, just kind of roll with this and talk to God and be like, help me understand it. Because sometimes we hurt and we don't even know why.
Right. Real talk. And some people don't know how to convey it. So, you know, and sometimes people just don't know how to convey that hurt. And then, of course, they wind up hurting the next person because they can't figure out their own hurt. But I want to say that, you know, it's good to have people, but it's also good to have good people. And I didn't know that, you know, like I said, nobody knows, you know, Honey Jai back here but Denise. So when you come forward, what you get today is not the same exact individual that was back here. Now, yeah, I've been soft. I'm not so soft, but I've always been the type of person that's like, dang, if you need the shirt off my back, I'm gonna give you that shirt. Let me look at, okay, I got on the undershirt. You can have this one. You know, I've always been her, but you had to build to get to that place with me. But like I said today, you know, I had a conversation with Fancy Red Nicole. Them two always, oh, I swear, they shake us, just shake you up and then tell you stand. No, I can't stand, because you done whirl me around, spit me around a whole bunch of times, and then you're gonna tell me to walk again.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't walk. But right now, I think being able to get some of the things off.
Standing up.
No, right now I'm in my position of submission when it comes to God. That's where I'm at. I'm aligning myself, because somewhere I removed the connection, and because of a loss of connection, he had to move everything out of my way so I can get back. So that's where I'm at in life. And I had to sit down. I literally had to like put my sisters on mute so that I can get my head together and literally have that true conversation with God today. This is all done today, even though this topic has been in there since January the 30th, I believe. But today is when it was more so like you know, I got I got all that today. And then whatever. And then after that, you know, I went back to reflection, because it seems like every time you know, it's like the crab syndrome. You're trying to go up, but everything else is trying to keep pulling you down. And so that's where I say sometimes we allow, I don't even have to say allow. Sometimes the vulnerable one, the one that's not closest to God, gets attacked. And when they get attacked, they bring all that in. I do believe in spirits bringing, you know what I'm saying, individuals bringing negativity. Is not just negativity. It's a spirit of negativity. It's not that individual, because we're the same flesh, but it is a spirit of negativity that just hit. And when it hits, sometimes people don't know how to shake it off. Or sometimes what happens is this huge mirror is put in front of you, and you actually get an opportunity to see what you really are and what you're giving and who you are, and then you look further and this is not me, because this is not where I want to be. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. Look at themselves and see where they are, where they want to be. And like I said, right now, I'm in my submission state. I'm in my submission state to submit myself fully to God and just open up, because there's some things that I done put on the back burner that Nicole been getting on me about, like, finishing up my book. I suppose been done, February 14th. February 14th is tomorrow. And I'm still, playing around. Do I have everything situated? The majority of. Have Nicole stood on my back? For the first time, I want to say thank you, Nicole, because you didn't stand on my back. I'm standing on my back and my neck, and then I can't get up and I can't finish and I can't write. You know what I'm saying? Then I jump up and start writing. But I didn't need that. And I thank you for not, giving that to me like that, even though I should have been done. Every time I look at the email of my deadline, I just giggle. But I think I had to go through some more things in order for me to finish what I started. And being able to put things on the table and having good people to even bounce those things off of, to me, is like a blessing within itself. Because I can remember there was a time in my life where I didn't have anybody to talk to. No one. I mean, I had a whole best friend and couldn't talk to her, just couldn't talk to her about too many things. Because at that time, I would have brought her spirit down, that's one thing that each day we learn about. I think, to me anyway, I learned something about myself daily, that I am stronger than what I was yesterday. I'm brighter than what I was this morning. And I stand taller because whenever something else tries to take the confidence that I have proudly prayed for and keep, something else tries to pull down at that confidence. But I am so blessed that I have a circle when it's time for my affirmations to be real, that my circle helps me keep that affirmation still right here. You gotta have.
Ain't nobody tearing no confidence down up on us, girl. What the world?
Right.
And it's not just confidence in my face. It's nothing about my face, but I don't think I'm a bad. Yeah, okay. But sometimes, like, some things are where, and that's a subject for another time. That's probably a subject for Talking Dirty After Dark. But certain things in life, I just can't talk about, period. Learning every day that, hey, that's a lack of confidence in that area of your life. Figure that piece out. When you get back to it, then I could get back in line. But again, I have to align myself with who got me here. I have to align myself with the individual who made sure that I have a roof over my head, a vehicle to drive, and the warmth that is provided inside of the home that I was given. And I lost somewhere. I can't say I fell off like Pookie. I didn't fall off like Pookie, but I did fall off somewhere because I didn't get the opportunity to finish things. And I think I self-destruct some things. And then I also, just said, well, you know what, I'll do that later. And a lot of that became a later until I made my whole self a whole line of distractions. And so now I have to sit here and, bask in the ambience and eat that lemon. You know what I'm saying? Make some different dishes with that lemon if I got to, but I have to, like Crystal says, sit. You know what I'm saying? Because in the song that I can't remember who sings it, but it says, after you've done all you can, you just stand. Well, that's where I'm at right now. I'm just standing and being more submissive to, my higher power. You know what I'm saying? Learning that, somewhere between here and here, you put too much space between you and God. So now God said, okay, you playing, moved everything out the way. And so it leaves me sitting here today, never been vulnerable a day in my life. And I found vulnerability. I was like, whoa, this is what vulnerability feels like. I don't want it. Lord, I don't want it.
Vulnerability has been there. I'm sorry. And let me just interject on you for a minute for those that don't really know her past. I'm saying everything that she's saying, God gave you discernment back then. There's a lot of stuff you didn't understand what discernment was, but you knew who not to let in your inner circle. You knew who to be around. When no was no, that's what it meant. Your yes was your yes. You was just being made at that moment. And so for me to be able to see who you've become now, man, it's a beautiful thing. However, your heart has always been vulnerable. You've always been a loving person. It was just many people didn't know how to receive you because they was going through probably their own hurt, just like any of us. So when I heard everybody talking about the different things, I could probably attest to everything that everybody else said that is going on in my life right now. Tomorrow is Valentine's Day, but for us and my family, we're celebrating the homegoing of my dad, which passed away 2009. So Valentine is a lemon to lemonade moment for us. And so I never went out to the grave site because I'm really sentimental. I'm just like my sister. I will cry at a heartbeat, but we still had that hard shell. I tell people I'm like that egg, you buy at the grocery store. That egg is good and hard on the outside, but you crack it open, it's all oozy. But guess what? When it get that heat, what happens? When you put that egg in boiled water, what happens? You get hard on the inside. All I'm asking for everybody that's on this call tonight, don't let your egg become so hard to where it makes your heart hard, to where you don't get a chance to be loved, to receive love. God let, not that he allowed, I'm gonna take that back. Everything that we went through, it was a purpose behind it. And a lot of times we don't like it. I heard the young lady that was saying, pretty much you reap what you sow. And a lot of times that's just what it is. What we give out, what we want in life, that's what we're gonna end up getting back. And so the things that we're talking about tonight, let's take that lemon and make some tilapia, baby. I'm just saying, we trying to figure out what we doing with the lemon. Let's work it. Everybody say eat it. Okay, we're gonna learn how to eat. We're gonna learn how to help somebody else. And everything that y'all saying tonight, I thank you personally because none of y'all know me, but I thank y'all for being vulnerable. I thank y'all for being open because sometimes, even in a family setting, you may not tell none of your family what you have dealt with. However, everything that people talked about, I don't know if I should tell my son or my daughter what I've been through. Just as open as I've been with y'all, I have been with my 31-year-old and my 26-year-old. They have still seen mama as the shero. And I thank God for that because sometimes they have to know what to look for in life because the world already teaching them stuff. Why come we can't be vulnerable with our kids? Yes, we don't want them to see our hurt. We don't want them to see the pain. We don't want to, think about it like this. I remember it was a time when my lights were off because I was trying to open up a beauty shop and I had just got a house in Lancaster and I was like, Lord, okay, my son is a senior in high school and I was trying to figure out life, single parent, all of this stuff. However, lights went off and guess what we did? We lit some candles and we played Monopoly on the floor, baby. We went to some fast food place to go get some food. You have to figure out what to do in your meantime. Because just because it's in your face does not mean that you have to be horrible about the situation. You be like, hey, this right here ain't doing nothing but making us. Because God, you have to allow God to make you. If you don't learn how to be made and be like my sister, I'm in a position of settling down, being situated, being able to hear from God, being able to look back over your life to see, man, okay, I messed up right here. Ooh, okay, right here, I need to learn how to be quiet and shut my mouth because the Bible talk about a wise woman built her house, but a foolish one pluck it down with her hands. Her hands represent her mouth. If we don't learn how to control our mouth, we can mess up a whole household. So a lot of times we have to check us. Yeah. So it's us checking us. So whatever lemon that you hold and whatever has happened in your life, allow yourself to look over and say, I've been made because of that situation. What did I do? Did we become, because somebody raped me, did I become a raper? Oh, because somebody had done something else in my life, did I become this? You get what I'm saying? We can look at our situation and be like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? So
and you
looking
are
at
allowed to
everybody and
make
listening to everybody.
mistakes. That's the thing. Nobody's perfect. And I think if we get out that perfect setting, we are allowed to make mistakes and you have to learn from them. And I think that's the whole thing. If you're not learning from your mistakes, then you're not going to never get it in life. You got to learn from them. You got to find something out of it. You got to get something.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. Pain is transformational, and sometimes when you go through things, they can make you better, they can make you worse. you can stay the same. But, I always try to look at a situation that it's like, you know what, if I've been so hurt that it did not move me into a better me, I didn't get it. And sometimes
Come
that's
on
how
now.
you end up getting stuck. But I do know that pain is transformational. And, the more that I've hurt, the better I've become. And because that was my intention. I'm like, look, I can't go through this pain for nothing. I got to get better on the other side of this. So, I try to improve from the pain and accepting that it's a part of life, man. Everybody is going to go through something. Nobody promised us that, hey, you're going to go through this unscathed.
Right.
I think
And
what
I honestly feel like that if I didn't go through some of the things that I've gone through, if I didn't hurt, if I didn't cry, if I didn't bleed, if I didn't fall down, I would have nothing to give my family. I would have nothing to give my child. I would have nothing to give anybody because I haven't earned it. I've just been sitting around just getting stuff. So I almost think sometimes you got to earn your stripes too. You got to earn those blessings.
Yeah.
And, you come out different and better on the other side of it. But that's what I mean by, for me, is sitting in it. I'm sitting in it, learning from it, taking responsibility for it, and saying, you know what, I got to be better on the other side of this. I don't care who hurt me. I probably done hurt somebody in the process. I was telling my sister the other day, about when we try to blame other people for stuff. And I was like, you know what? I told my daughter, I said, if I pushed you in the water right now, what you gonna do? And she said, I'm gonna swim. I said, good. I said, because you can't fight me and drown at the same time. So you got to do something. Your first priority need to be saving yourself. So she figured it out. I'm like, God, I'm glad my baby know how to swim. But sometimes it's like that when we hurting. It's like we want to fight other people, but we still drown. And it's like, look, I can't fight you and save myself at the same time. I got to make a decision. So when I'm hurting, my priority needs to be healing, learning from this, sitting in this, transforming from this. No matter what it is, whether somebody died, whether somebody hit me in my eye or I fell down, I got to learn from it.
Yeah.
And also being receptive of some, because sometimes information come from anywhere. I'm gonna say like some information came to me, from another significant other on a male perspective. And I'm just gonna throw it out there, like, just basically saying that, a man needs to feel like they're needed. Even though we don't need you, they need to feel it. And in my head, it was like, well, I think you should just, if I tell you that I want you, that's way better than a need. But then to hear it from a man's perspective, it made me go back and, be apologetic, because it was like, dang, I said it out of my mouth. I did, not realizing that I could be adding humility to the other individual. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't to be anything like that. It was just more so like, I always thought that needing is like, I need water, I need food to stay alive, I need the air to breathe. Need, you know what I'm saying? A necessity. I didn't take it as, men needed to be needed. It was, to me, want was a bigger thing, because I want to eat chocolate, but I know it breaks me out. You know what I'm saying? I want to eat salmon, but it's going to take the shortness. It's going to make me not be able to breathe. I want, and that's the desire, So I'm thinking that was better than the need. But from a man's perspective, it was like, no. So it was like, okay, so I'm receiving. I'm like I said, I'm on a new purge of, it's purging, but I'm gathering information in my purge. So like I said, I'm what you said, Crystal. I'm actually just sitting. I'm basking in the ambience right now. I'm submitting because I lost something in between, and I have to get, back aligned with God. Sometimes he's, the distractions, because he's, God is a jealous God. So something that distract you. Okay, so you keep being distracted, I'm gonna move it. So that's my part that I'm in my life. And it kind of like, it hurt like heck. It knocked me down to my knees. And that's probably the first time I've said that since it happened. But I can actually say today that I'm thankful, because I have a whole prayer squad, and I don't even have to pay attention. And that squad just prays for me, because I had a whole sense of calmness. I've been prayed for 6 times today, didn't even ask for it. And then the beauty of it all, before we even started, we always prayed on. We all had prayer brought to us. It was like, oh yeah, you're doing a different level now. You honey John, you going where you're supposed to go. This journey that was supposed to be here, and you deviated from the plan because you made a choice. Stay where you need to be, and whatever it's supposed to be will be. So that's my learning thing for today. I actually learned something on February 13th, 2021. Feel like it's a Friday, but because I was very traumatized by my hurt, because I'm not used to hurting like that. I'm used to like you actually said too, Crystal 360, when you said sometimes you earn it. You may not have earned it today, but somewhere back there, you earned it. Somewhere back here where you least expected, that you accidentally did it to someone else, that karma is for real. So yeah, that's my point of view. And I already know Nicole got something she's gonna say.
Oh, me, I don't really have. Look, I'm gonna leave it on that note because I don't have anything really to say. I done said what I had to say, you know. I'm gonna leave it where it's at, where it like, because you know we're gonna have a part 2 of this. We're gonna make apple juice. We're gonna have apple juice and I'm gonna live.
Well, you know what? I do have something else to say real quick, because it aligns with something that you said, Honey Jai, and something that Nicole, aka Shell, taught me a long time ago, and maybe she wouldn't even, she probably didn't even know that she taught me this. And when you said about, you know, having people in your life and, you know, getting distracted from God, and you know, I don't really harp on the whole equally yoked thing, but one of the things that I've learned from Nicole is making sure that you have people in your life that have a similar path than you, because a lot of times you can't get distracted when everybody in your circle knows and respects God on the same level that you do. And I'm somewhat of a loner by nature. I don't have a lot of friends, but those that I do, they kind of know what I stand for. They know what my goals are, and they know what not to bring to me. So it's hard to be distracted
You went in.
My God by my friends and the people that I put in my life. And I've learned that from watching her. I've learned it from watching the people that have been her friends. And, you know, I even learned it for myself, saying, you know what, this is my big sister, but I got to get my space and get my own set of friends, because, you know, this group of people may not be in alignment with the spiritual path that I'm on. And everybody not on the exact same one. But when you're in a group of people, or when you have somebody in your life that is not on that, you do get distracted. So it's important to have people in your life that know that, you know what, Crystal going this way with God, and I know that if I'm not going that way with her, I'm either gonna get left behind or something. So having people in your life so you don't get distracted, they keep you, you know, they keep you along on that path. And I'm not saying that everybody has to be doing everything that you're doing, you know, saying everything that you're saying or agreeing with you, but they know and respect where you're trying to be. They know and respect where you're trying to get. So, you know, if I see somebody in my life that, you know, hey, I feel like, you know what, this person kind of getting me off of my way, man, I'll fade to black in a minute. You better ask somebody, I'll disappear on you in a minute. But I've learned that, you know, from her, you know what I'm saying? You can't get me so distracted that I get lost. If I get lost with you, you ain't the right person, man. I gotta disappear. I gotta get away. And sometimes another friend taught me, you know, reason, season, a lifetime. Some people are in your life for a season, some people in it for a reason, and sometimes for a lifetime. And I've been hurt by some people, and I really wanted them in my life. And I'm like, where they go? And it's like,
supposed to be
you
your
weren't
life.
supposed to be here. You weren't supposed to be here. I gotta say goodbye to you. I'm sorry, but you know what? I want to say, you know what? I agree with you. Sometimes you do get distracted, because other people are in your life, and they not along your path. They're not in alignment with what you doing. And I have to say, hey, big ups to Shell for making me recognize that at a young age. Otherwise, you start dragging a bunch of dead weight behind you, and you trying to grow, and you slowing down, and you don't know why. Because you got all these raggedy people behind you that ain't going the way you going. They making other turns, and you know, the weighing down your wagon.
My journey is not your journey, so it's okay. Right? We don't have to be on the same path. We don't have to be on the same journey. We don't have to even have the same vision. But I know where to separate it. You know, I know where I need to put you in what category you're gonna lie. You know, a lot of people, they pretend to be a friend, they're not really your friend. And you know, it's hard, you know, it's sad, you know, when people are so heart giving and you pour a lot into people and you don't see what they actually are there what they are there for, or they intentions what they are, because you're giving so much. Where I sit back and be like, nah, this person right here already bull corner. You know, I hit it with the real quick, be like, nah, this person, the vibes, you can get that vibe, you know.
But sometimes the distraction ain't always just distractions are real live distractions. You know what I'm saying?
But you know, people, you overlook some distractions because you pouring. Remember, we're gonna get into this pouring. Remember,
we're not gonna pour.
So we keep pouring, and we overlook some distractions, and people giving you who they are, but just because we care about a person, just because we involved in a person, they actually giving us who they truly are right then and right there. But we overlooking that because why? We putting our heart into it, and we're not really paying attention to this. You know, we like, okay, they could do this. If I'm moving forward, they might not want to move forward. They probably moving 2 steps backwards, but we don't see these 2 steps they going backwards on, you know. So that's, you know, we got to, and that's what, you know, Crystal, you know, pretty much we had long talks about it, about, hey, your friends are talking about your friends, you know, this is not people that you date might not, you can have a person that you actually date be actually jealous of you and you don't know
it. Yeah.
Hey, but I think like with my distractions came with like different things. You know, it was the job, it was the children, it was COVID, it was COVID on one brother, COVID, it was huge distractions. I let everything else, it was like, I could do that tomorrow, and then I never forget it.
And then what distractions? That was you.
It was. I was not. But you did hear me when I said sometimes we self-sabotage or self-destruct. That's where I was. I do. I hate, when Nicole's right. I do. I pour into a lot of people. What I have learned is if I pour all of me, I'm nothing. I have who's going to replenish me. So I learned not to pour so much of me, but here where I sit here, I can actually say that I'm on the next chapter or my next journey on where I'm supposed to be. Like when I'm gonna say this, you guys will listen, but a lot of you know, like I said, I'm supposed to be like turning in submission on tomorrow, done. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, okay. And here I am, months behind, because everything that was here, I wrote it down, but I never put it where it's supposed to be. I turned in, 2 lackadaisical chapters and realized I didn't like them and then rewrote them. Like I'm talking to Nicole and rewrote them, put them and left them sitting still, came back to him and was like, wow, this is some good reading. I wonder where I got this from. Me, I got it from me. It's supposed to be gone. It's not gone. So thankful right now that, God has put it on my heart. You need to finish what you're supposed to be finishing because you have something you're supposed to be saying. Just like when we first came with Let's Sip Tea, it started out something small, so minute, just women getting together, talking about life. And then we decided to just make it and blossom, where we continue to give back to women. So, yeah, I am really, really thankful for everybody who has participated and poured some more into me and not even realize that you did. And I know it's getting about that time. And before we leave, we always try to leave our watchers with one thing to remember. And then after that, I'm going to ask if my God sister would end us in prayer. But we're going to start backwards. So I'm going to ask Nicole to give us, one thing that we can throw out there, those nuggets for those ladies, or those gentlemen that's paying attention and watching. What would you tell them, when life gives them lemons?
Is you gonna keep hurting? Look, I just got this as a mess. Is you gonna keep hurting or you gonna start learning? That's a good point. Keep hurting or start learning. One or the other. That's what I'm just gonna throw out there. That was a good little message I got.
Chrissy.
Well, I'm gonna go old school spirituals. Your mama can't get you there, daddy can't get you there, grandma can't get you there. Can't nobody get you there but yourself. So stop being Captain Saber, you know what, and work on self and try to save yourself. And that's just real talk. Charity begin at home. So even with children, if you are not, I think Denise said it earlier, if you didn't take care of herself, how's she gonna take care of her children? So it begins at home.
DeMarco.
I'm gonna say this. Just make your life the best life you can make it. Because it's your life, it's your book. Make it how you want to make it.
It's your chapters. You writing them.
Chrissy 360.
You know what, the best thing I've learned in life, and I'm pretty sure everybody on here knows this, is sometimes you got to get in that mirror and you got to look at yourself. You got to look through yourself. You got to look under yourself. You got to twist yourself around and take responsibility. And it's hard, you know, especially when you're a loner, especially when you feel like you know it all, you feel like you can do it, or when you just too hurt to look at yourself. You know, you got to do it, you know. So sometimes it's, hey, you know what, let me get in that mirror and look at myself. Let me look at myself and pick myself apart, you know, because when we look outside for other people to do it, it's, you know, it seems insulting. That's where that vulnerability comes in, you know, because other people are telling us about ourselves, and, you know, it could be true, but we're not able to receive it. But once you get in the mirror, that's a spiritual mirror, that's that physical mirror, and you start taking responsibility for yourself. It's hard. I've had to do it. I still do it. And, you know, it's because I feel like, you know, if I don't take responsibility for me, if I can't look at me and see that I was wrong, or that I need to improve, or that I need to fix something, everybody coming behind me is going to suffer.
Right.
And the first person behind me is my child. So, you know, I got to accept it. I got to get in that mirror and roll with it.
Fancy Red.
My thought with this and my ending thought is two things actually. Touching on what Crystal said, while you looking in the mirror, make sure you heal yourself before you move on to anything different, anything new. And learn who's in your life for a reason and a season. Learn the difference. Because if you don't know the difference, you're gonna always be fighting. You're gonna constantly be fighting for that reason to be staying in your life, or rather that season to be staying in your life forever. And that's not what they meant to be.
Minerva.
The one thing that the one nugget I can give is to love yourself and be true to yourself, and everything else be a lie. Because you can live all kinds of different lives on social media, um, outside of, well, on social media, you know, you can lie on social media, you can, like, you live the perfect life, but you have to be true to yourself. And that's the one lesson that I've learned. You have to be transparent. Transparency is the key, you know, and um, because it don't matter what people gonna think of you, long as you think highly of yourself and live your life according to what God wants you to live. The most important thing is to make the dash in the middle of your alpha and omega be the best that it could be.
Denise.
Is it my time to pray or just my moment of my
Your
ending
nugget
thought?
that you'll leave the world.
Be your authentic self. I think that everything that everyone has said is exactly going into that direction. Um, don't let the world tell you dictate who you are. So when I was listening to everybody, I'm like, just being your authentic self is what's going to pour into the world. Because if God made a whole bunch of me's, the world might be boring just a little bit. I'm chill, I'm laid back, I'm goofy, I'm whatever. But if all of us were the same, I'm saying that it would not be really flavorful. Think about a bouquet of roses. They look beautiful when you see a whole different variety. But when you see the same, you know that that red rose is still a red rose. So I would say just be your authentic self and enjoy life.
And my leave, my nugget, my stream. There's only one person that two people, but one that if you look in the mirror and you can lie to, and continue to lie to, then I think you have a whole problem and you have to start over. Just being who you are is supposed to be your truth. So who I am today, I may not be tomorrow, but I am still truth. Remember that everything that we say, we can either break someone down or we can bring them up. But the purpose for everything that we do is supposed to be to lift and edify. You know, we always say, if we could just change or help just one, then that is exactly what we would do. Help change and help just one. Before we close, I'm going to say thanks to everyone who is on here and everyone who spoke. I thank you so much because I truly appreciate everything. Somebody has like a loud background, but I am truly thankful to everyone who had the opportunity to talk because I truly appreciate it. Every nugget, every gram, every grain that was given, I know someone out there needed to hear it. And so stay true to yourself. And there's two things that we always say is, you know, we always say before we leave, we always say, you know, let's talk. Because, you know, a lot of women, we don't know how to talk. Let's talk and let's sip tea. Again, thank everyone who was on here. Thank you, my co-host, my beautiful guest. And before we close out, we're going to allow our special guest to pray us out because we're in a praying time. And it's time to just give yourself wholeheartedly to someone who can make a change in your life, and that is God. If you could pray us out, Denise, we would truly appreciate it. But again, let's talk. Let's sip tea. Please share. Please subscribe. Please send. Mail it out. Whatever you got to do, because somebody needs to hear it. Okay, Denise.
And Father God, tonight, we just opened up the serenity prayer in our hearts to allow us to accept the things we cannot change, to have the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Father God, on tonight, I ask that you go into each one of these persons' homes and allow us to be changed from the inside out. Change us for your glory. Allow our lives to reflect who you are and who you have made us to become. Thank you for making us wonderful. Thank you for making us exciting. Thank you for making us different. Thank you for allowing us to breathe on tonight. Thank you for allowing us to be able to share what we've gone through that have built us up to who we are right today. God, I know a lot of times we look forward to tomorrow, but in this moment right now, I thank you for your peace that passes all understanding, that's keeping our hearts and our minds. I thank you for guarding us through every evil that has tried to put itself upon our lives. We denounce Satan. We send him back down to the pits of hell where he belongs. Every plot, every plan, every scheme, and every thought that he thought he was going to do against your people, God, we send it back down to hell where it belongs in the name of Jesus. So God, keep resurrecting us, keep lifting us up from victory to victory and glory to glory. Thank you for allowing us to have a good conversation tonight that's building us up. Continue to allow us to grow. In the name of Jesus, we do pray. Thank you, Lord God. Amen.
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 Thank you again.
Amen.
Again, subscribe, share, comments. We love it all. We won't be gone. We won't be gone long this time, guys. We love you. Thank you for watching. Let's do what we do all the time. Let's talk. Let's sip tea. Good night.
Bye, y'all. Be
Night.
safe.
Bye.
Night.
You too.
Ooh.
Turn the record off.
I am. I just